Hi, and welcome to the Oracle card reading for November 8th with me, Colleen. I'm going to start by shuffling this deck of 48 cards, and as always, I'm going to ask Spirit, what do we need to know for November the 8th? When I do my readings, I have in mind just the collective mind, just anybody that might be watching. And Spirit really works in interesting ways, and how, it relates messages and to us. And there's always usually a takeaway for somebody in some way or another. And I think that's what it's really all about, is just taking what you can from this reading and just leaving the rest behind. And if nothing resonates with you for that day, then that's okay too. Okay, that's 2. So I'll just leave it at 2 for now. I usually only stick with 2 cards for the day. And the first one that came up is called The Path That You Take. So this card is just really indicating that you're really on the right path right now, even if it seems like you're not. Now, we all get to choose what path we take because as human beings, we all have free will. However, sometimes if we choose a path that isn't really where we need to go, you can find that it might be a little bit challenging, and more challenging than it would be if you were actually taking a better path for yourself. Now, even if we do end up choosing, a harder path for ourselves, it's always about learning. So even if it's a challenging path, just know that there's a lesson to be learned in that path. And you can always make the changes to go down a different path. So if you're going down one that feels a little bit hard, a little bit challenging, you have the freedom to make the decision to change. And that's really what this card is talking about. It's making any changes to the path that you decided to take so that it can become better and easier for you. If we're going down a path that is really hard or challenging, it's an indicator that there's something better out there for us. And what that better thing is, I don't know. That's going to be up to you to make that decision and to decide. Usually the first thing that comes to mind is what is right for us. So whatever that is for you right now, just trust it and go with it. So somebody out there might be really struggling to get on the right path. If that's the case for you right now, just take a step back from what you're currently doing and just do some allowing. So you might find yourself just pushing too hard, or you've been just struggling, and the struggle energy that you put out there is actually creating more of a struggle. So take a step back and look at the things that you're doing or the thoughts that you're having about a certain path that you're trying to take, or what you're trying to work on. If it feels like it's the wrong thing to do, but you're trying to force it, then just stop doing that right now. And in that reflective period, you might be able to come up with some easier ways to go about doing things, or you might want to change something that hasn't been working out and try doing it a different way. And in doing that, you might find that it leads you to a different path that's really easy. And the way to know that you're on the right path is when things just start to happen. So it's all about finding that sweet spot. And it's all about trial and error. So when you've hit that sweet spot, things are gonna flow easier, way easier than they ever did when you were on that other path that felt like a struggle all the time. Okay, but you're also gonna be able to take what you've learned from that struggle and apply it to the new path that you're on, and that is so easy and feels so easy and fluid. All right, so that's a really good way to know if you need to make changes on the path, or if you're on the right path and you're in alignment, okay? Because if you're in alignment, things are gonna flow and it's gonna seem a lot easier. All right, moving on. Meditation is the next card that came up. So meditating is a really great way to clear the mind and to allow new ideas to come in, new ways of doing things, and any changes that you might need to make to get to where you want to be. So it's all about just taking the time to clear your mind so that new ideas can have space to come in. If we're cluttered in our thinking and foggy and just not able to focus on any one thing, it's going to be really, really hard to come up with any new ideas, or to really even see things that aren't working for you. So I think that when you sit down to meditate, and it might not happen the first time, but as you get into the practice a little bit more, even if you're just dedicating 5 minutes a day to this, just to quieting down your mind, like if you're not focused, like things aren't going to be able to come in. So it's really all about just clearing your mind and creating space so that you can see clearly what you're doing and identify what's working and what's not, and to be able to make changes from there. I hope that that's making sense to somebody out there, or to a couple people. I'm always just sharing what I am guided to share based on the cards, okay? So the takeaway is going to be different for everybody. Now, the next card that came up is your inner child. And your inner child, it's not always to do with your inner child. It could be indicating something from your past that is still presently affecting you. And that, I feel like that is tying into what we talked about with the Path You Take card, about how you might be on a path of struggle, and that might be a pattern for you. So what I'm being called to share is to ask whoever's watching out there to take a look at their past experiences and identify where there has been a recurring pattern, whether it's a negative pattern or a positive pattern, and to work with that pattern. So if it's been a good pattern, work with that pattern. See how you can improve it. See how you can take it to the next level. If it's a negative pattern that you keep repeating in your life, that, it's always a struggle, or, it's always hard or whatever, look at that, and, it might be helpful to just write this down and make a list of the pattern, and, what actions and decisions led you to that place, and seeing if you can change any of that going forward, so that you can kind of catch yourself before you get into that, creating that pattern again, or attracting similar things in your life that sort of led you down the path where it wasn't a really good time, or it wasn't a success. And this could do with a lot of things, like relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. Even if you keep attracting the same type of boss in a job. Okay, so take a look at what you might be doing or thinking that could be drawing that into your life again and again and again. And meditation's a really good way to identify those things and to discover ways that you can make changes. Okay, so that's all that I have for you today. If you are interested in booking your own personal intuitive reading with me, Colleen, you can do that in the link that I provided in the description below. You can also purchase your own set of these oracle cards that I wrote as well at my store. And lastly, if you are interested in finding out how a personal coach could help you to improve your life and to get you on the right track in life, and that will help you to lead you down the path that's best for you, discovering that path and, you know, your purpose in life, I can help you with that. So if you're interested in something like that, please get in touch with me as well in the description, in the link in the description below. I would love to talk about how we might be able to work together and how I can help you out in those areas of your life. I want to thank you so much for watching this video today, and I want to wish you a really great November the 8th, and I'll see you again in my next video. Take care.